Kershaw. Great video, ending, of course, naturally, with you being beamed up into outer space. I do love the suit. Have you still got it? And if you have, why aren't you wearing it today?
Yeah, the suit was made out of calico, right? But there was stuff called Scotch-Lite taped all over it, and I mean, it kept falling off all through this shoot, falling to pieces. We didn't find out about two weeks later that you could actually get material made out of this stuff that you could have made the suit out of.
So, but what? It was like tape.
It was like, yeah, so it's like gaffer tape. It was just stuck all over them, but it kind of reflected light, and so they could key stuff into it afterwards. Is it
stuffed up in the attic, ready to be brought out for the Nik Kershaw Museum?
I'm afraid not. No. The convention, no.
Okay. The song, Wouldn't It Be Good? You released it a month before the album as a little taster.
Yeah.
Yeah, and people loved it.
They did. I mean, it's what you imagined was going to happen, and it actually happened. It was, you know, I'd be sitting in a cab, and it was on the radio. What
were they like, those moments? I mean,
it was amazing. It was. I remember Mike Smith saying it was the best thing to come out of Essex since the Dartford Tunnel.
Very nice.
Yeah, very good.
You remember the good quotes?
I do remember the good ones.
Do you remember the bad ones as well? Because I remember bad ones, I mean, unbelievably, when I started off with a few dodgy reviews.
A few. You do. You got that kind of stick there, don't they? They kind of eat away at you in your darkest moments.
In the middle of the night.
Yeah.
How could they? The album, though, went great guns, like we said. It went platinum, went to #2. Was there a lot of touring involved with it?
Yeah, fair bit. I mean, we were rehearsing for a tour when we released the single. We started rehearsing, and the album came out. And by the time we finished rehearsing, when we started rehearsing, they were Harvey Goldsmith was booking clubs, small clubs and stuff. And by the time we got to the end of it, we were booking theatres and 4 nights at Hammersmith Odeon, and it'll always be Hammersmith Odeon to me.
Yeah, it still is, but now it's like sponsored by or whatever.
Nelson's hemorrhoid cream or something.
And with touring, like, has it always been important to you to get out there and to perform? Because that's obviously where you came from when you were popping around with your wedding band and stuff. Yeah,
I think so, because it's all a bit unreal when you when it's all going on via television and you're not actually meeting the people buying your records or seeing the people buying your records. Yeah. So, and it was important, you know, that's what I've been doing for the previous 5 years, was be standing on the stage playing a guitar.
Did you struggle with, you know, when you've got to go on, like, Crackerjack and Saturday Morning Telly and...
Roland Rat, don't forget him.
Did you get to meet Roland Rat?
I did, yeah, well...
Was it before his party days?
He wasn't real, you know that, right?
He went through a tricky time, didn't he, as well?
He did, yeah.
So, you know, when you're sitting there with Roland Rat and Kevin the Hamster, is there ever a moment as a musician where you're a bit like, what am I doing here? Or
no, I had a few of those moments. I mean, some of those are on stage, you know. It's like when you've played what you believe to be the best guitar solo anybody's ever heard, and you realise nobody heard it because there was too much screaming going on, you know. Yeah. Those bits, they was thinking, I don't know, I'm not in control of this. This has got way out of control.
And the screaming, well, it was good screaming. It wasn't it was nice screaming from.
It was terrifying.
Girls,
Are you kidding?
No, but, I mean, they were screaming in a good way because they were overwhelmed by being there.
No, I don't think it's out of fear. Don't be afraid.
But did you find it quite overwhelming? Would you get girls outside your hotels and outside the gigs?
Yeah, and not being able to get out of gigs.
What do you mean you couldn't get out? Would you?
Well, couldn't get out. I remember I think it was in Cork, and the only way I could get out was actually in disguise, go out the front door.
Please tell me you went as a cleaning lady with a tabard on and a hairnet.
No, there was a Mac involved, I think, and a hat. But I just walked out the front and got in a car because there was no way I was going to get out of the back.
And did you have criers? Did you have girls that had cried? Anybody ever faint? That's the one you're aiming for someone to faint.
You're aiming for a faint, but there's plenty of kids being hoiked over security barriers by guards and stuff, and you go backstage and they're in the recovery position, you know.
You're like, buy the single and still.
But I was a bit miffed because I remember going on one of my tours. I went to see Wham.
Yeah.
And I was a bit miffed because I went backstage in there and there are far more kids in the recovery position than I ever had.
Oh, no. Yeah. St John's were much busier at Wham.
Very jealous.
So annoying. So wouldn't it be good you sang at Live Aid as well?
I did.
I've chatted to you about this when you appeared on Sounds of the 80s, but I just want to hear about it again.
You just want to hear about my pain again, don't you?
Was it the trousers?
The
Do I
trousers?
remember
I don't
correctly
remember
that
the trousers.
Oh, because, you know what? If it helps, so many pop stars that I've spoken to who've appeared at Live Aid didn't enjoy their performance, weren't happy with it, didn't feel comfortable up on stage, and it was a bit of a nightmare. I'm always expecting, like, stories of people to go all misty-eyed, like, it was a golden time, Live Aid was an incredible moment, but one person, if it wasn't you, weren't happy with their trousers. So
Really?
you weren't part of Trousergate.
Well, I don't know. I mean, if on top of everything else, if there was a trouser issue...
Well, you'd remember, though, surely, because that would be...
No,
was it the sound that you weren't happy with?
Oh,
or
well,
your
no,
ear?
nobody was happy with their sound.
Yeah.
It was just a bit of a car crash. But it was... no, I forgot the words, so wouldn't it be good?
Okay.
It was my big thing. I got halfway through the second verse, there's a little voice in my head going, "You don't know the words to the end of this verse, do you?
Oh, that is just...
2 billion people watching."
That is awful. So, and what did you actually...
I sung the
sing
first verse again. I sung the end of the first verse.
Would anybody have known who were
Probably
watching?
not.
Probably not.
Probably not.
But you did, and
I
you were
did.
like, no.
And it's all there on YouTube.
Oh, I'm getting a sweat on at the thought of it on behalf of you.
You can see the fear
Oh,
about a few seconds before. You can see the fear.
I can hear now the clickety-clack of a million people going now to go, let's go and find that moment alive, Eddie. See if they can see it. Yeah, the moment of, like, donk.
Yeah.
I've forgotten the words.
Yeah. No idea.
We're going to soothe you now by ending with a track of your choosing. It's a big question, isn't it, to come up with a song.
It's picking one track, but
Yeah.
it had to be this geezer, really, because David Bowie was pretty much responsible for me starting out in the first place.
Yeah.
Because I remember seeing him when I was a kid, as Ziggy Stardust.
And have you ever got
wanna
to...
do that.
Have you met him?
I can't... Not quite. I met... He was sitting on the bus, on a minibus, right back from Live Aid.
Okay.
The buses drove us back to the Wembley Conference Centre where all the dressing rooms were. And there was this geezer behind me going, "Do they know it's Christmas?" It's Bowie.
And you didn't dare?
I didn't. It's one of those moments. One of the 2 occasions in my life I've been completely... I couldn't even turn around and say hello. I couldn't do it.
Is this the other moment, meeting me, that you've started?
Well, 3 now.
Okay.
3.
Very nice. What was the other one, though?
Joni Mitchell.
Okay.
Couldn't walk 10 feet across a room, introduce myself. Even though I was recording with a drummer and stuff, I had a perfect opening line.
Yeah, you had like, "Hey,
Hi.
Jed's great,"
Yeah.
or whatever.
Vinny? Yeah.
Wow.
Couldn't do it.
And Ashes to Ashes.
Ashes to Ashes. I just kind of... Because it sounds of the 80s, isn't it? So it's got to be...
Yes,
80s.
that's where
It
you
just
are now.
crept in
Yes.
to the 80s. I think it's 1980 it was released.
Just nipped in there, well done.
And it's just a fantastic video, and it's just an amazing song.
Well, that'll do. That's the perfect reason, so we'll finish with it now. David Bowie's Ashes to Ashes.